Hey guys, and welcome to episode 5, a new season. So, yeah, it seems like a long time since we last played. 6 months since we last played in a competitive game. We have been playing for the last, you could say, two and a bit months in friendlies. For the first 2 of that, you could possibly say we got FM'd. We absolutely dominated control-wise, but we got obliterated through goals that should not have been. We had goals denied that should have been. It's just absolutely crazy. We've signed a lot of players. We've released quite a few players. We've sent some players out on loan. And we've sold 1 player. A bit disappointing because I did want to potentially move him to whatever club I possibly move on to in the future. But it's not all doom and gloom because we did tie up a loan back for, I think, 1 season. They wouldn't agree to 2 seasons, so I think we agreed 1 season anyway. So obviously for this first game, we are away. We do have 3 players suspended, and that is from the end of last season. It would have been 2, but we loaned back 1 player. 1. And we have loaned in a second player, and of course there's the reloaning in of the player we have sold. So let's just take a flick through things. We've seen that screen. Nothing new to add to this screen when it loads, although for you guys it will probably already show. Then onto this screen. Again, it'll probably already showing for you. And yeah, it looks like I'm pretty rich. 108,913.60 Swedish krona. But remembering that £1 is only equal to 11.46 Swedish krona, it is roughly, well, it's exactly £9,500. Maybe give or take a couple of whatever the point is in the Swedish krona. But yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, let's yeah, nothing new to add to the local area yet. We haven't added anything. We haven't learned anything new. So on to here. So yeah, we've made, as you can probably see over here, we have made 1.2481 Swedish krona loss, but we are in the positive. We are still spending over wage. We are currently spending 31.450, committed spending again 31.450, but we have players out on loan. So when they come back, that's going to go back up again. Obviously, there's no available wage budget. We are over. We now have a more full complement of staff. But let's take a look at the boardroom. So obviously, you can see 3 things here completed. I can't remember if we went through any of these prior to it happening, but youth facilities upgrade has completed. Senior affiliate, we now have a senior affiliate in, oh, which one is our senior affiliate? Is it GIF or is it IFK? I think it's IFK. Okay, no, we have 2 senior affiliates then. One of them, I'm sure it's IFK Gothenburg is our newest one. Yeah, I remember getting 1 in last season, and then now this one. And we got a nice, healthy profit from it. It's the 200 and something thousand. Yeah, you can basically tell that one, nothing's happening from it. We're not getting anything from it. But for this one, we're getting 242,935 Swedish krona per year. They can send players on loan to us, or we can request players on loan. We will host an annual friendly. They'll pay us 242 Swedish krona, or basically 243. And playing in the same division will terminate the link. But as long as they don't go down, even if we go up, we're in the 4th tier. Yeah, it's the 2nd division, but it's the 4th tier. That's not going to happen for a while. So yeah, that's that. So the youth facilities cost us, I think it was 900,000 Swedish krona. Affiliate club. It's a lower division 1. I rejected them all. I wasn't happy with the ones they came up with. We're only losing 5.48 thousand Swedish krona per week in wages, so nothing major. We've got 419k in the bank. In terms of confidence, we have massively built up the squad harmony. Finances, we're over wage budget, so it's still down there. Philosophies, we don't really have any, do we? So nothing really to say. Transfers, we're on 55%. It's too early to say, really. Club stature, not really any change. Matches, again, it's too early to say. We've only had friendlies. And competitions, of course, it's 50% because we haven't played any yet. So, the bit you're probably wondering about, transfers. How many players have I signed and sold, as I have removed it from this screen? Well, the reason being, I figured, okay, 1-2 seasons, you can, especially with youth players included and everything, you can get into the hundreds. You're going on into multiple years, and you're going into the thousands. So, yeah, that's the reason for removing it. So I'm not going to go over every single transfer that has happened. So there was a lot at the end of last season that happened. Somewhere from, where was the last one you probably saw? Probably around here somewhere. So there was quite a lot happen there. Mostly youngsters. And then, here we go, ins and outs. So, don't look at the bottom yet. So, for sale, Kurtovic, Lindqvist, Aksoy, Stamate, Eklund, Jovanovic, wait, no, not Jovanovic, Eklund, they was all released early. Their contracts seem to have expired before these. Then Aslan, Lindqvist, Forsgreen, Victor, Sandberg, and Carbo were all released. And then a few days after that, Jesper Gullikson's contract expired, so he went as well. Daniel Jovanovic, he is, yeah, you won't recognise him. He's a new player. He was signed in on a free. He has gone out on loan to IFK Lindingo FK in the 3rd division, so the division below. Frederick Landon, you will, or you should remember him. He was a key player for us last season. Very versatile. He's gone out to, again, 3rd division, Taftia IK, Swedish 3rd division, semi-pro. He was, if you remember, very versatile player. He played in the defensive midfield mostly for us. And as you can also see here, we have changed the colours. So no longer the red. The red was getting too hard to read. At least now this black, that is now the lowest attribute, like the very poor, with the grey being poor, yellow being good, and green being excellent. So as you can see, he's developing somewhat out on loan, which is what we want him to be doing. Simply put, he wasn't going to be playing as much for us. Then we go on to Charlie Stalden. He's gone out to Engisberg's IF, as has Kalle Soderberg. Now, you might remember Kalle Soderberg. He made a few appearances for us last season, But I'm not sure you remember this guy, Staladin. I'm sure he's a new one. But he won't show on that screen. He will show on last season's because it was a during the close season. 17-year-old left midfielder, pretty decent, really. Just not good enough for the first team yet. Who else have we got? So yeah, Cali Soudberg as well. As we just said, the day later he went on loan to the same team. He was right mid, right winger, and yes, he is developing. So 2 yellows on him now. Then Eckenberg, Leopold Eckenberg. He is another player you might remember, might not. Is a midfielder, trying to get him to be defensive midfielder, but we'll see what they do with him. He's fully open there to everything except for Roman playmaker. But yeah, he's developing, which is good to see. Who else? What else have we got? So Harris Kroner, another new signing, has gone. Oh, he's joined Landon at Taftia IK in the 3rd division. He is a central defender with the ability to play in right defence. And yeah, you can see realistically why he can play right defence as decently, because of his acceleration. His agility is not too bad. Balance is not bad. Natural fitness is good. Strength is good. 5 on heading, 8 on marking, 7 on tackling. Generally decent. So yeah, he's definitely got the ability to play in multiple positions across centre back, though a bit more developing is needed. But for the right, again, you can see 8 marking, 7 tackling, 6 on concentrations and 5 on determination. Not too well. 7 on positioning though is quite decent. 3 teamwork, that should build up hopefully. And of course his physicals are pretty damn decent for a 17-year-old. Next up is Jesper Broberg, another youth player. Now, I do want to point out the Swedish youth intake is meant to be in September. But I don't remember getting a youth intake during the first season. So hopefully this season we will get one. But if we don't, we've got enough youth players anyway. So this guy, he's gone on loan to Vargada IK in the 3rd division. He is a left winger, and he was a full-out left winger. We started training him in left mid, and they wanted him on loan pretty quickly. So obviously he's developing that there quite well. It's determination not too well, but I'm guessing he's got high ambition, as you know, is developing that. He's already competent in midfield left, and I think he only played 1 game for us. But look at his physicals. He should develop in that midfield left role pretty decently. Next up is Mohamed Asfandari Doulibali. You might remember him from last season, you might not. He's a midfield centre. We've been training him to be in defensive mid, and yeah, he's slowly getting there, but yeah, he's not suitable for any of the roles there yet. But it's not really far off. I mean, marking, okay, heading definitely needs developing, but he's got the first touch, he's got the tackling, technique, work rate, teamwork should improve. He's got leadership, he's got decisions. His physicals aren't bad either, they're pretty good. So yeah, he could become a possible decent defensive midfielder. Next up is Leif Håkansson. He is another new player. Yeah, Eckenberg. He's okay. Eckenberg is. Oh no, that's Doulibali. Håkansson. I'm sure he's new. What? Yeah, Håkansson. Christian. No, that's Leif. That's Christian Håkansson. We're looking for Leif Håkansson. I'm sure he's new anyway. He's gone out on loan to Spalvolgens FF. Again, third division. 17-year-old right back, potential right wing back. Yeah, his physical's probably his best attributes at the minute, but he's got decisions, he's got flair, he's got leadership, he's got teamwork. So, all good. Next up would be Alexander Yildirim. He is a new freebie. He should show on this screen. Maybe not. Wait, yeah, he is. There he is. Alexander Yildirim. Free. He is a right back, right wing back, right mid, right winger. Potential left as well. 16 on natural fitness is always good. His attributes, most of them aren't far from going into that grade bit. So he could become a decent player anywhere across there. But he's 23, so we'll see how this loan goes for him. Next up is Andreas Persson. He is also another recent player. Another 23-year-old. He's a left back, potential in the central defender. Again, not quite as good as the other player. Forgot his name. Wow, 2016. No one. Again, his physicals probably are his best, but he's got marking, he's got passing, he's got tackling, which is where that central defensive role probably comes in for him. But he's also got acceleration, pace, and stamina. Which is always good for the wing. Finally, in terms of loaning out, is Cole Istrefi. I believe you might remember him from last season. I'm sure we signed him early on. Either that or he was already at the club. One of the two. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, Cole Istrefi. He has gone out on loan to Sundenberg's IK in, again, the third division. So a lot gone out to the division below. And as you can see, he's a defensive centre, right back, potential right wing back, only 17-year-old, Swedish, 15 determination, 18 on bravery. So he should develop into some decent player. His physicals, as you can see, most of them already in the grey. His heading already in the grey. Decisions, positioning, work rate, all in the grey, which is always good. And of course, you've probably already looked at it, but the departure, 102,000 Swedish krona, potentially rising to 125, plus sell-on clauses, a 50% sell-on clause. Amir El Amari, one of the players I wanted to keep. And you can see why he was wanted. But, and this is the big but, and they really didn't want to have to loan it. I think they wanted him to play. And we're talking about Östersunds FK. They are in the Allsvenska. So we're talking 4 divisions higher. Östersunds. I mean, I don't really recognise any of these names, but yeah, it's the top division in the country. Is there any big teams in there? Malmo, Göteborg, Aribo, AOK, Hausenburgs, I've heard of them. Hammarby, I've heard of them. Östersunds, I've heard of them, and I've heard of Djurgården. So I'd say pretty big, not the biggest, definitely not the biggest, but somewhat big. Yeah, it's but it's not much. You got to think 100k. Again, that's only about 9,000, 10,000 pounds. But they paid over the odds for him, so profit, especially considering we got him for free. But of course, he is loaned back in. So I'm not going to go through this screen other than obviously talk about Amir El Amari rejoining us on loan. Eric Colson joining us on loan from AIK. He is a 17-year-old poacher. Pretty decent. From what we've seen from him already, pretty decent. And of course, we have reloaned back Gustav Forsgren from IFK Norrköping. If you remember, he was a 17-year-old central defender. He still is 17. Potential to play on the right, 15 decisions. Most of his physicals is already in the grey, and that is pretty much because of us. There was a few there, if you remember. You could probably look back. I'm sure it was included. But let's go into the squads and just... So, you can see, that is at under 19s. Yeah, none out on loan. Under 19s, but we've only got 17-year-olds in there. We did have 16-year-olds in there, but they've all aged up. So yeah, as you see, pretty much every position we could need covered. Even attacking midfielders, but they're being trained in the defensive ball-winning midfielder role. And as you can see, Marinovkovic, he was originally potentially a shadow striker, but now his best role is ball-winning midfielder. So, just goes to show. Now, in terms of the under-21s, this is where we've moved most of our players that are not at the club. So, yeah. And again, it is mostly full of 17-year-olds. A couple of 18s, a 21-year-old farm guard. You saw him, he was on the bench for us most of last season. He's dropped down there to get some playing time. He is loan listed, so are a couple of others. And as you can see, most of them are now not on that dreadful contract, out of contract issue. And we've either got them on youth contracts or on professional part-time contracts. So yeah, if players want most of them now, they have to pay for it. If teams want them, they have to pay for them, except for them few. So Alexander Anderson, he is down there. He was playing in and around the first team for us last season, but we just want him to get a bit more development, really. I mean, we don't want too many youngsters in the first team, but again, we don't want too many older players. And finally, the first team. So, like we just said, we don't want too many youngsters, but we don't want too many older players. So, yeah, no one over 25. So, we have 3 goalkeepers in the first team. We have, once again, Ryan Ubachi Amokwe, our American, 24-year-old American that sounds more like a Japanese guy, hence that Amokwe. Yeah, 24. It is dropped off. I don't think he's going to be our first teamer anymore, even though he's clearly our highest paid goalkeeper. And as you can see, when I was offering out the first few contracts, I didn't try and offer lower. I just thought I didn't think they would accept lowers. And then we got in these other guys on these 250 Swedish krona per week contracts, and I was like, oh God, what have I done? So ideally, I would like to either sell them or get them out on loan. We do have Westdahl loan listed, but I probably should loan list Amokwe and see if anyone will want to loan him, as Daniel Axelsson is now our potential first team goalkeeper. Potential, I say. 3-star, potential of 5. So basically where Amokwe was last season, except for, yeah, he's 2 years younger. He's Swedish, so he's got all that going for him. Okay, his vision's gone down, but he's a goalkeeper. It doesn't really need massive vision. His aerial reach has gone up. He's got 15 bravery, agility 12, pace of 12. Okay, so he could become a sweeper keeper if need be. So, yeah. Okay, his anticipation isn't good. Decisions is, though, 13. First touch, terrible, terrible, terrible. 1. don't like it. But the goalkeepers never seem to like training first touch, even though it's, you know, one of those needed attributes. So handling of 12, command of 12, reflexes of 12, all round pretty decent. And then we have Cole Westerdale, who's 20-year-old. So there's 2 years between each of the goalkeepers. And realistically, he is a third choice goalkeeper, hence him being loan listed. Now, if you remember, last season, Caban spent all of the season for us playing on the right. But out and out, he is a defensive midfielder. We tried him there during pre-season, and he didn't too well. Hence, why we brought in a few right backs and left backs, blah blah blah. We was trying to get players to play in their more natural positions. We did try and get Jordan Binns out on loan, but he was wanted, but no one wanted to loan him. They only wanted to buy him for like £1, and is valued at 36. So yeah, we rejected it. And oh wait, he's English. I'm sure I've already got him. Yeah, I've already got him training that. So I think it is going to be Caban, our first choice right back, and if need be, defensive midfield centre with Fogelberg as the backup. Binns is probably going to be our first choice, but there's not much between him and Henrik Vilden. As you can see there, yeah, Binns does have slightly higher determination and slightly higher work rate, but they're about the same. And obviously Wilden has that, or Wilden has that Swedish player going for him. Now in central defence, of course we have the option of Binns to also play there. But we have Brandt, who, if you remember, he played his first game for us as a substitute in defensive mid. So he could drop again into defensive mid if need be. But he is, well, I really don't know who my first choice central defenders are going to be. You would say Forsgreen, being the fact he's a 3.5 star, potential 4, possibly 5. But the fact is a loanee. We want our first teamers to be there if possible. So obviously we just mentioned Forsgreen. Next up is Ted Frisner and David Wallendal, both news. Frisner 2 stars, so he's about equal to Brandt. And then Wallendal, our youngest, is equal to Forsgren and he's 2.5 stars. So ideally you would say it would be Forsgren and Wallendal. And realistically, Wallendal definitely looks like the better player. So then you also potentially have Wollston, who, if you remember, he played on the left midfield most of the season. I think he played 1 game in centre back and he played a couple in defensive mid. So they are options for him, but he is now back to being first choice left midfielder. Again, down to what happened in pre-season. This is going to be very long, by the way. So yeah. So as you can remember, he is very versatile. He can play anywhere across defence and midfield, except for sweeper. But he could probably learn that pretty decently. He's probably not that far off it. Apparently he's competent. So yeah, he will be playing on the left, most like first choice. Then we have Kuba and Alamari, who are our first choice defensive midfielders. Obviously, Alamari, well, we've sold him. We wanted to keep him, but the money, it wasn't really enough. I did think to myself, that's not enough money. It's pathetic money. But, I mean, we're only a small club at the minute. Until we start climbing the divisions and until we can become a professional status club instead of like this I think we're semi-pro still. Until we can become pro and actually tie down players to full-time contracts, we're going to have to be left to some of these decisions. So next up is another new player, Gustafsson and Johnson. Johnson is technically an under-21s player. I'm going to keep him in the first team for now. I know he's only 2.5 silver star, but he's got high potential, and his stats really aren't that bad. I don't know why he's only 2.5 silver star. Maybe it's because, you know, he's a recent regen. He was originally an attacking midfielder, then we trained him a little bit in midfield centre to get that worked up, and then we've been training him in defensive mid. So maybe that's why he's only 2.5 silver star. Then we have onto the right midfield, and this is where our options have really changed. Originally, we was going to go with Tevin Shakespeare as our first choice, and Robin Steer as our second choice. Now, I am going to loan list Robin Steer. He is wanted, but that's as a transfer. But instead, it is now Josh Chatay is back to being our first choice right mid. He was going to be our first choice left mid, with Woolston playing in either defensive centre or defensive mid. But due to pre-season and them not playing particularly well in certain positions, Shakespeare has gone back to playing more as a striker, and Chatay has gone back to being more or less our first choice right mid, with Stair being third choice right mid, and Shakespeare is still that second choice right mid at the minute. So in terms of left mid, we do have the options of Woolston, Chatay, and is Thomas, Folkestone, Linda, who we are going to loan list. So it will be in order: Woolston, Woolston, Chatay, or maybe Chatay, Woolston, Linda. But Chatay can't play on the right and the left at the exact same time. So technically, when he's playing on the right, he's the second choice for the left. When he's not playing on the right, he's first choice for the left. In terms of strikers, as you can see, we've got a few. We do have KM Ilofu loan listed. He was probably one of our best free signings. And then during pre-season, he started to look good, and then he slipped off. Simple put, he slipped off. But in terms of first choice strikers, we have Tevin Shakespeare as the poacher, and Eriksson. Erik Karlsson in on loan. We've already mentioned 17-year-old. Technically, is meant to be a poacher, but he's been playing in the target man role, and as you can see, he's not that far off. So we might actually have a look. We didn't really play it. No, yeah, that's why. Shakespeare is a better poacher than a target man, but we could try him there. So in terms of up front, it is Shakespeare and Coulson, with maybe one of the players being rotated for Nafors, who has been excellent, and sums up why we're paying 400 Swedish krona for him per week compared to the average of 250, other than Ramon Gordon, who sillily, that's not really a word, who stupidly, I agreed a new contract at 2,500 Swedish krona per week. That's not getting extended. He's a 3-star, he's got potential of 3-star, he's a backup. Even to Jonathan Eriksson. He's a backup to Jonathan Eriksson. And then, like, Elofu is just ahead of Gordon. So yeah, that's the team. And now time to select the squad for this team. I'll see you back in a moment, because this could take me some time to decide. Okay, so we have our squad selected, and well, the game's saving because 6 months we need to save. Let's roll the intro. Okay, that kind of shows how big this database is. The game is still loading. See you in a moment. Oh, now I'm starting to look like a real fool. Within seconds, literally within seconds, the save shot up. So here we are, submitting auto numbers. I didn't even look. I'm sure I saw Amir El Amari AAA getting number 7, but that's about all I saw. So both teams are fairly evenly matched, and I think this will be a draw. Oh, we forgot to look at the schedule. Now, we do have to fight for this playoff position. And a couple of the players that we have kept on, they only signed the contracts, even though it's only for this one season. They only signed it if we get promoted. So it's kind of odd why they'd sign a one season contract that wouldn't even tie them over into the promotion. So anyway, right, schedule. So we start off against Valbo and Bramolia. Are they a new team in this? I don't remember seeing them last season. So the cup hasn't been drew yet. Oh god. Yeah, so the cup hasn't been drew yet. So we start off with Valbo and Bramolia. We've got games against Moran, Huddersfield. Oh wow, half the teams we've finished against, we are up against. Other than this Bramolia, I really don't recognise that Bramolia. Kruna, I don't recognise them. Patia, I don't recognise them either. Skeletia, Stromsberg, Suderums, Holmstrams, Timra, Valbo, Bramolia, Moran. And we finish off. Oh, nice. Stromsberg, Patia, one of the teams I don't recognise. Skeletia, Suderums, Harnessons, and Timra. So, again, a lot of the teams we ended against last season. This could be interesting, especially considering we have to go for that promotion. So, I did want to look where oh, the cup. What? Wait, what? Competition performance. There isn't. Only the league. That can't be it. I'm sure we're playing a cup as well. Oh well, maybe we're not. So let's get into this match. They predict it to be a draw. We've both been in charge for 9 months. Jesus Christ, 9 months already. So here is the squad. We resume the 4-2-2 defensive mid, except I've already messed up. There we go. I forgot to change it to that. So, despite me saying this is where blah 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 will play, blah blah blah, due to the suspensions, we've had to switch things up a little bit. So, again, I know I said Umukwe is fair or favour, but it was our first choice last season. So, just for the sake of it, Umukwe is in goal for this first game. If he can keep a clean sheet, he will hold on to his place. If not, Axelson will be in for the next place. Fogelberg does start this match because of the suspension of I still can't even remember these names yet. Our Puerto Rican international David Caban. Fosgreen is suspended, so Binnis is in there. He would have been playing on the left, but yeah, he's into the centre because of that. Wallendal is our first choice left central defender, and Wilden does take Bin's place on the left. Wolston is in Alamari's place, and Alamari is in that dual names players. That one of my favourite players here. Kuba is in David Kuba's spot. So it would be Alamari, Kuba, but because of Kuba being suspended, it is Wolston, Alamari, with Chate on the left and Shakespeare on the right. Colston playing Poacher. Even though we haven't played him in Poacher during pre-season, he is playing there. And Nifors is playing in the target man. Even though, again, he hasn't really played there. He's been playing as a Poacher. So this is going to be kind of good. Familiarity, you can see we're very, very familiar. I don't even want to click this in case it goes wrong. But we still have those. Oh, very familiar with it. 4-2-2-2 defensive midfield narrow. And the 4-1-2-3 asymmetrical is also, wow, that's also very familiar. So we've got a lot of choices here. Right, that's about what we said, weren't it? That'll do. So we might try out that 4-1-2-3 defensive midfield asymmetrical at some point. Maybe not early on when the league's still blatantly there. Right, let's just have a look at these. So they're all tactically very familiar. They're all pretty good in their roles. So obviously Carlson, he is our latest signing. So he's not as familiar as everyone else. Nefors, again, he's a bit newer than... He's been with us a bit longer than Coulson, but not quite as long. So he's, again, not quite as full as the rest. But, yeah, great. Epic. Awesome. Let's get into this. Too much talk. Right, encourage the players to give them... get out there and give the fans their money's worth. I know you can do it. I have faith in all of you. Absolutely. 100% positive faith that you are not my first team selection. This is like my... Well, it's not even my second team. It is due to them players being suspended. Oh my gosh, so we're going to throw in a cheeky, calm down. Alamari, Nicholas, who's going to go for? Back to Alamari. Previously with us, he was playing backup for us last season. He is now a key player. But Cogbo, he used to play for us. Henriksen. Wallendal, he didn't play well in defensive midfield pre-season, but we're giving him... It's his best position. We've got it. He's got to be good there if it's his best position. Right, Coulson. Oh, come on, Coulson. So we have had him for 3 games. This is his 4th game with us. He banged him in the first 2 games. Okay, the first game he was with us, it was against under 21, so yeah, expected. And then the second game was against a 4th division or 5th division team. Yeah, basically an unplayable team. So that was expected. Then we played Sandvikens, I think it was, to finish it out. And yeah, he played shit. We actually played, I think we played Sandvikens 3 times during the season. And if I remember right, there was a win, a draw, or a loss, and a loss. Alright, Alamari, Wallendal. Oh, bad contact from Wallendal. That's not what we saw from him. Again, bad. This is the kind of play we saw during the half when we got FM. Like, it was literally 2 months of playing well, but then weird stuff happening. Didn't add up. And there we go, Nafors doing what he's been doing all pre-season, banging in the goals. There we go. I say all pre-season, but it's not really all pre-season. You'd only been with us for about half of it. He's picked it back up again. Shakespeare. Tev in. Come on, Tev. Come on. Right wing is meant to be your best, so again, there's not that much difference between right wing and right mid. Considering out and out you are meant to be a striker. That is your most natural position, but apparently your best is right wing. Oh yes, who was that? Was that Alamari? Alamari, I'm regret. Offside? How is Alamari's goal that's what I'm on about. Alamari's goal disallowed because Nafors was offside. He was way back there. I don't get that. I might have to look back at that because I'm actually not disappointed. I'm actually, well, yeah, I kind of am. There's a couple of players that have let us down, but right, Tev. I'm actually not happy with how you performed. I am happy with how you performed. I'm just not happy about your yellow. And I missed the player on a 6.5. Right, where is that goal? That one? Yeah, why was that disallowed? He wasn't even offside. He was not. Nafors was not even offside. That is the exact sort of stuff we went through during the pre-season. These shocking decisions. Absolutely shocking. The referees in this game are fucking useless. SI, please develop better fucking referees. Because that was an absolute blatant goal. The amount of games I lost during pre-season because of that exact sort of decisions. Like, Tevin Shakespeare should have scored about 50 goals in pre-season. Instead, he only scored about 4. Because most of them were ruled out for exact same things such as that. I'm so glad something like that actually came up during a match. Well, I'm not, because, you know, that could be the difference between winning and drawing. Alamari, though, with another one. Screw you, referee. Go fuck yourself. Alamari with a screamer there. The referee can't take it away from him. Wallendal is on a 6.4. Lucky to get away with it. Lucky to get away with that. Was he? Right. Brandt can come on for Wallendal. Wally. Oh, don't want to put Stair on. Okay, Josh Chate, you're going there. Walston, you're going there. Gustafsson, you're going there. And then we're going to leave it. Right, Ralston, Chate, already out on the left. Chate! Ah, that's a corner. He was like, past the line, bring it back in. We've got to go attack. I know we're winning. Right, Gustafsson. He is our newest signing. It was signed from. Yes, get in the forward. Just as I was about to take you off. Instead, I'm not taking you off, but I am moving you into the poacher role. And Lolo, I don't know. I'm gonna need a nickname for him. I could go by his first name, no, I can't. KRM. Oh, it's not even his first name. It's a dual name. I might just go with something like Lolo. It's hard to tell whether it's an I or an L. It's a 3-1 here. I'm not sure whether to go back to control or go defensive or what now. In fact, I'm going to go contain. There we go. First game, first victory. Abysmal start, abysmal referee, but still, we managed to get the win. Happy as can be, other than a couple of twats that I don't know why he got a low rating. There was probably only the one fault from him. I don't even know if it was a fault. And to be honest, Shakespeare 7.0. Wait, he came off with a 6.9. How did he finish on a 7.0? He did get an assist, but I wasn't happy with his overall play, and maybe that will stop him from being my favourite player, apparently. I've not declared anyone as my favourite player, but apparently he's one of my favourite players. Oh, more news before we advance any further. We've obviously, as you can tell, we've advanced. We're 9 months with the club now. So yeah, we've completed our first coaching badge. We've completed our second coaching badge, and we are now working on our third coaching badge. So I've not actually looked at myself since the first coaching, since I got the first coaching badge. So it will be interesting to see. I know my working with youngsters didn't go up. It hasn't gone up as far as I know. It's still on 3, which is what we're... If you remember that pretty much everything was on 1 except for there was, what is it, technical on 2, working with youngsters on 3, and a couple on the other side that were around the same. So let's have a look. What have we got? Right, attacking 5, defending 5, fitness 2, goalkeepers 5, tactical 5, technical 6, mental 5, working with youngsters still 3. Come on, how many youngsters? Really? Adaptability 2, so that's not changed either. Determination 4, player knowledge 5, youngster knowledge 5, level of discipline 1. Even though every time someone has got a yellow, like a red card, they've been or sent off from dual yellows, they've been 2. Okay, maybe I need to start getting a bit stricter. Man management 5, motivating 4. Apparently our knowledge of Sweden still hasn't gone up much. Where's that? I don't even know where that is. We now have worst opinions by 3 clubs, or 3 people. Henrik Armstrong, manager of Hundsveld. Haldal, manager of, I can't even read that, Harnessans, and Setien, manager of no one. So why am I not favoured? That's Palmas. Maybe it's because, wait, No, it's not even the dude that got sacked from Tenerife. And I tried to take over, but yeah, the fans didn't want me. So let's have a look at our career stats. Played 11, obviously friendlies aren't included. Goals for 26, goals against 13, goal difference 13, win percentage 54, games won. Right, games played 11, won 6, drawn 4, lost 1. So not bad, really. I certainly don't get why my working with youngsters hasn't gone up. I mean, no one over 25 in my first team. There's what? Right, under 21, so 20, 21, okay, 22, 22, 20, 17, 19, 17, 20, 19, 18, 17, 17, 20, 19, 17, 21. How many is that? Is that 15? Is that 20? I think that's 15. 20, 17. Says 17 players, and that's 17 players, 21 and under, just in the first team. And then, yeah, seriously, how is my working with youngsters not good? How is my working with youngsters not gone up? I have mostly 17-year-olds. I could literally, if the objectives was to have a relegation battle again, like try and survive relegation, I could go with entirely the 17-year-olds. I could get rid of everyone else. Fuck off. Don't need you. We're only trying to avoid relegation, but no, we're trying to win promotion. So I've got to be a bit more serious here. So just the better players. And you know what? We haven't. No, it's only a 2-day break. So let's. No, I'll see you in a minute. Hello and welcome back. So here we are in our second match day, and I can say I am going to be doing. There probably will be a bit more episodes. Like last season, we had 4 episodes. It all depends, really. We might try and do 5, or I don't know. It all depends on what happens, because our third coaching batch, sorry, we should get around about July, March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July. So somewhere around there, the time we play Huddersfield Girls. So coming towards the end of the season, but that is also coming towards it's coming towards the close of the. Most of the other leagues will probably have played, like all the jobs might have a few seconds and whatever, but let's just have a look. I do believe we have only got it set to managers. So there's tons of jobs available at the minute. Swindon. I doubt we're good enough. Oh, it's Jimmy Floyd Hassel. Yeah, we're never gonna get there. Would be nice to try and guide them into something though. Brian Dean. Brian Dean's face, Sheffield United coach. He's favoured to take over Yeovil. Are we favoured for anywhere? Nope, we're not favoured for anywhere yet, but we haven't applied for anywhere yet either. But I don't want to apply yet. We're going to wait till a bit closer to the time, see what's going around then. But anyway, let's get into it. So I believe Ange IF have enough quality to see off Bromolia IF. Now, I have had a look at Bromolia, and there isn't really much to say about them. There's not much history about them. The last one, the Third Division South in 1998. And that's the last trophy. That it doesn't say whether they got promoted or relegated. I'm guessing they've come up, especially as they're in the teams to fight against relegation. So hopefully this will be a walk in the park. This is our first home game of the season, and with the suspensions now over, here is the squad. Oh, for God's sake. I really need to change that. Wait, have we done that? Have we done team talk? Yeah, no, we haven't done team talk yet. Okay, so So our lineup, we have Axelson in goal. If you remember, we said we would give Amokwe the one match, and if he kept a clean sheet, he would keep his place. He didn't keep a clean sheet, so Axelson is in. Caban is back in on the right. Forsgreen is, you could say, back in at centre back, or you could say in at centre back. Technically, his loan did expire, and then he did come back, so we are going to say he is in the squad. Wallendal, despite his poor performance, he is still in the squad. Binns is now in on the left. Elamari, Kuba back in. Shatay on the right. Walston on the left. Coulson as the target man. Shakespeare as the poacher. Amokwe, Brandt, Gustafsson, Stair, Folkson under, Nafors, and you know what? I'm doing it now. Lolo. And Lolo on the bench. Again, we're up against basically the same. It looks like they're going with exactly the same, except for their defensive mids switched around. So it looks like they are going with the deep line playmaker and the defensive mid, but the opposite way, probably to try and counter us. Though it does look like the central defenders are just playing in that, possibly that normal defensive role. Yeah, that normal defensive role. It's about the same as they're about the same as Wallendal, but the fullbacks, I don't know. Yeah, it's about the same. So only really the one difference there. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens. Oh crap! What the hell? Oh, we didn't get the speech. Oh well. Oh well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're taking it as we've said. I have nothing to say right now. They've just come up. This should be a walk in the park. We don't need to say anything. But first highlight goes to them. Van going next to Kevin. There was a few really cool players I wanted to sign, basically based on the names. One of them, well, two actually, were really good. Really good, but too good. We had no chance of signing them. They wanted more than we could afford. One would talk, but unless, like, he wanted the same sort of players as, what's his name, backup striker, the one who's on the base pages. If we'd have got him a bit, he could have done it. But Wilson has scored the great Lamari, Wilson. Oh yeah, we had a change in captain this year. Amokwe is dropped down to vice captain. He wasn't. I did speak to him and said I'm gonna drop him as captain. His first reaction was I think you're making the wrong decision. I spoke to him and said. I think it's time we gave someone else the chance to see how we can handle the pressure. And it is Cooper. And he is feeling the pressure. He is on a negative player reaction probably. He thinks I'm putting too much pressure on him at such a young age. But a whole squad, oh my god, Walston coming close to a second, and this does lift us second below Sutherland, who, yeah, isn't that the team who smashed AD last season? Tevin with the free kick. Oh, I thought that was Forsgren. I'm going to say Forsgren. It's easier to say Forsgren, but it's Forsgren. The only thing about this control is, well, other than that 8-0 smashing, we don't really see much unless it's a massively weakened team. And, right. I'm going to go cautiously. I'm not happy. That's all I'm going to say for now. First highlight. Don't complicate. Unless it looks serious. Nope. Right, what's happening here? Lindbergh to them. What a terrible goal kick. I don't know if he intended that or if it's just really looking. It looked like it wasn't intended. It looks like we're absolutely dominating this field. Look at them, they're well back. Oh, Kuba slips up there, but he picks it back up. Shakespeare, what are you going to do? Trust the balls and Shakespeare! I don't know if I want to make any changes. It's just bins. What are we doing that far from the Alright, actually, wait. What we're going to do is, right, in the fours, into the target man, Lolo, right there. Let's try switching them. It's about the same either way. And that's all I'm going to do for now. We'll keep the third sub available if need be, in case Alamari or, well, anyone really picks up a yellow. It's most likely to be in progress. Alamari with the free kick, we've seen him banging pre-season, but he goes short. Alamari. Lolo. Shall we bring on a player just for the sake of it? Ooh, Kuba. Red! It didn't even look like he touched him. Okay, you know what? Sorry, Lolo, but you're gonna have to come up. So Kuba is suspended again. But I suppose we do have that get stuck in on. But still, that karate kick sort of thing This is actually quite poor considering. Yeah, considering. Sutherland's are no longer first, but not first. Skeletia. I know you're only on a youth contract, but I'm not incredibly happy with it, but in fact this is how unhappy I am with it. You did do well, but that getting sent off was not good enough. Coulson, terrible performance, mate. Tevin, again, terrible performance. And it's time to find Kuba again. If he keeps playing like that, I'm gonna have to drop him. It's obviously just not handling the pressure. Was probably justified. I don't think it was, because Phil's fine was unfair. It didn't look like it was, but every time I appeal, I get warned or worse for it. Every time. Even if it's the most blatant not red card ever. I don't know what to do. And most of the time when I don't appeal, they get banned for longer. And when you do appeal, they get banned for longer anyway. Just for the fact that they review it and most of the time say, oh, it's worse than it looked. Even though it didn't look that, it didn't even look like it touched him. I'm gonna have to go do not appeal. Right. We'll see you for. I'm trying to think what we're gonna do. I think we might do a home double in what is that? A month's time? Yeah, about a month's time. Ange IF, I believe they came down, and Skeletia, as they're the current team in first place. So yeah, see you in episode 6 for that. I don't know though. If I do them, and then I want something. Yeah, and then we'll probably do Sodrums and Harnessons. And then coming into the second half of the season, maybe teams that we haven't done. So probably well, we've just done Bromolia and Valbo, so it doesn't really make sense to do. It literally looks as if we're playing each team in the exact same order. Yeah, we are. We're playing each team in the exact same order. So we might then do. Wait, how many teams is there? There's 12 teams in the division, 6. I wouldn't mind getting in a home and away game in each episode. So maybe Karuna and Pittia, and then Skeletia and Soderums. And then it'll probably be Harnessons and no, we want Timra for the final game. Harnessons and Maran maybe. Wait, Harnessons is home. Oh, we won't have played a Maran game. We'll see you in the next episode for whoever it is we face. We might, in fact, even go up against Maran just because. I don't. I really want to be. I don't want too many games. If we do like 12 games, that's 6 episodes. Nah, we want a bit less than that. So either way. 2 games per episode, right? That's 1. Patia and Skeletia 2. Sudrums and Harnessons 3. Then maybe somewhat of a, I don't know, because we might not even be at the club past here. So we might bring you back here for the 4th episode, Hudiskvels, and if we're still at the club, Galaver, because that should be about the time when we pick up the next coaching badge. So it's a good time to see if I've developed or not. And yeah, so the next game will have been quite some gap. And it'll allow me to carry on playing, which I'm just so interested in playing right now. I don't want to stop. I literally don't want to. I just want to keep playing and playing and playing. But I've got to think, if I keep doing that, it's just going to be so awkward because I'm just going to get so ahead of myself, and I don't want to get to season 2 end without even having season 1 end up yet. So what I might do is just yeah, next match will be Patia and Skeletia, so it's not a massive gap. It's only a gap of like, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to catch up on, and then it will be a run of like Patia, Skeletia, Strongsburg, no Strongsburg, Sudderhams, Hamsburg, then Timber and Timber, Valbo and Bromolia off, and Maran, and then it'll be Huddersfield and I might even do a Maran Huddersfield, and then maybe Galver Bodens, just as if we don't move club. We'll find out nearer to it. So the next game, next episode, episode 6, will be against Patia and Skeletia. I'm going to edit some of that out because that bit has just dragged on too long. Remember, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe if you like it anyway. If you like the video, please hit like. Please, everyone, comment. Comment helps the videos getting noticed more. And please as well watch the adverts, because the adverts can help me gain a bit of money, even if it's only a couple of pence. It all helps. I know I don't have a lot of viewers yet. It would be nice when I do get a lot of viewers and it starts coming in more, but you know, the adverts aren't that long. It's yeah, whatever. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.